Happy Tuesday, everybody. It is Comic Industry Insiders Live, and this is the pre-show banter portion of our show. That's right. It's not really the show. It's like the show before the show. And I want to take this moment to say hello to everybody at Space Cadets in Texas. Jen King, you mentioned that you have this up at your store, and I appreciate you coming on. All right, this is the bit where we just bring a whole bunch of people in and we chatter for a little bit, and we probably talk over each other way too much. So I'm going to start bringing people in, and we'll get that process started because we have a lot to talk about today. Each time I'm going to bring somebody in, I'm going to talk about something else that we're doing today. So first, let's add to the stage, the very end of the show, we'll have Mr. Blake Morgan, who is going to talk about Kickstarter and how you should be generous, right?
Yes. Generosity is not a weakness.
Generosity is not a weakness. I like that.
And it's a non-sleazy marketing tool, as we're going to find out later.
That's right.
How are you today, Adam?
I'm good. Yeah. I've had good sleep this week. That's always the biggest deal, right?
Good sleep, good breakfast. It helps.
That's right, baby. Now, coming to the stage, somebody who has not gotten a lot of sleep this week because he's in the middle of moving, so the chances are good he's going to move this camera around while we talk. Also, the other producer of our show, Mr. Kyle the Exhausted. How you doing, bub?
I'm going to not move my camera around because I've got it sitting right on the corner of a desk, and I'm going to do my best not to kick the desk.
Do not kick the desk. That's a good plan. Not kicking the desk. Somebody who was regularly kicking the desk out of frustration with me because she keeps all of Prana DM working, and these days more and more of the projects that we're working on. Miss Megan Marston.
Hey, howdy, everybody.
How are you?
Doing well. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Megan's having a very stressful week, so luckily her stress means I have less. That's why I get to sleep so well. All right, excellent. Speaking of somebody who allows me to sleep well, Mr. Joe Keating.
What up? How's it going, everybody?
I'm good, cowboy. How about you?
Doing quite well. Just caught a typo in number 8, so I'm getting that corrected. Working on putting books to press.
The future is number 8, and the trade paperback are going to press today. So we're all a little bit crazed. Yeah. Right after this, I'm gonna have to go through page by page and share that. At some point I should share that video that I did about going through the pre-press. Anyway. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Mr. Gabe Yoakum is the guy who tends to make sure that we all get paid. So welcome aboard, Gabe.
Good morning, afternoon, whatever it is. Kyle's not the only one moving. And
that's right.
And 4 a.m. has become my best friend for the last week or so.
I'm sorry to hear that.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Someone who put on one last garment so that I would recognize him because I had face blindness the whole time he was on camera. One of our special guests this week is Mr. Jamie Jones.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Yeah, the bow tie had to come on so for Adam's sake. That was necessary.
Yes, Jamie was just telling an embarrassing story that I saw him at a convention and he was wearing a hoodie and I didn't recognize him the first few minutes. And this is where I should probably let you all know that I have no idea what you actually look like. I only process what you wear, facial hair, maybe. Sorry, Megan. It's yeah. And somewhere in the cold dark of the Canadian wilds is Mr. Brian Garside, who keeps coming in and out because his power keeps going out. So we may or may not have him today. So, welcome to live internets.
Never know what's going to happen.
I know. Other than putting books to bed, what's everybody up to this week? We got Kyle moving, Gabe's moving, Joe and Megan, we're putting a book to bed. Blake, we always run you ragged. It doesn't change anything. What has your week like been, Jamie?
I am also moving, so I am. Friday I'm moving up to Philadelphia, so it's going to be. This is all a big change. I'm currently coming at you from my parents' bedroom or my parents' house, my childhood bedroom.
Oh, sweet. Are you still have the twin bed?
We got it. No, I've upgraded to a full.
Goodness! Wow, your parents let you upgrade to a full. Oh, that's impressive. All right,
it was nice. You know.
So your mom has another
5
sewing
years.
bed, that's what you're saying. Yeah, that's what I don't know.
I didn't have a full bed till I was 24.
I'm trying to imagine you on
You're
a twin
so
bed.
tall.
Also poor.
For those of you who are going to stick around for the rest of the show, we have a whole bunch of smoking hot headlines we're going to be talking about. We also have Jamie's going to be giving us all the details on Power Pulp and why you shouldn't lump them in with things that don't make any business sense. And Mr. Blake is going to talk about the act of generosity and how it is, might be the marketing strategy. I can tell you from experience that our company's adoption of being generous as much as we can. We learned this from the Black Hills folks who we work with on Recca. Made all the difference in our company. You just, you chart. I believe Seth Godin once said, you either make it full price or free. And man, we adopted that and it changed everything. Joe, I know you have opinions on this.
I do. I have opinions on two things, by the way. I say I'm very excited for Power Pulp being on this. I have no connection to the company whatsoever, but I am a fan. I purchased the that spy book that Rugg was talking about.
Yeah, Leo Derrick.
Yeah, Leo Derrick.
Yeah.
That thing is amazing. And then I would check out the rest of your guys' catalog. It's awesome. So I'm really stoked you guys are on here. Yeah, we talked about this when we were on tour with Recca back. It's like my take is default aggressive abundance. Like I saw a lot of my career, especially early on, people like holding on tight to like, this is my gig and this is my thing, and it doesn't work. And the work ends up usually the actual work ends up usually awful when you have that approach. Mm-hmm. And ever since flipping and really working with Recca has been very influential. Jason and Deb, what up? It's changed everything. Life's better, really works better, like the work is better, so.
And you get an opportunity to take what you've learned, take the stuff that you had, and raise all ships, right? You give everybody the benefit of what you've learned and what you've been able to do, and I think it just makes a huge difference. There's
an element. So I mentioned Mr. Rugg earlier. He has that book, 1986, somewhere around here. Anyway, there's a spread in that of just books from 1986, and I'm not saying this to be nostalgic, but there's so many books by so many distributors, and there's so much great stuff, and I don't want to go back to I want comics to be like Watchmen. Forget that. No. But having an environment where there's so many publishers, so many distributors, so many creators that are putting stuff out, that's where good work comes from, and that's where a healthy industry comes from. So I'm all about that.
This right here, what just happened with Joe there, that passion that came through his mouth hole.
Yeah.
That's why I like working with him.
Right. It's
I'm
ridiculous.
so fired up. I've had the crappiest morning, and now I'm like, come on!
Yeah, let's go. Default aggressive abundance, folks. Make some comics.
There was a meeting. It was Adam had to leave early. It was me, Joe, and Megan. It was before Baltimore when we were throwing around table and hype ideas and stuff.
Yeah.
And Joe started getting excited, then we started getting excited. And it didn't feel like a meeting anymore. And I was like, man, you're really good at that, Joe.
Thanks, man.
Adam is you guys. You're fun to work for. It's stressful. Comics are always stressful, but it's a fun, crazy place to work for.
People make it so dumb for the dumbest reasons. You know what I mean? Comics are awesome. It's the best medium out there. You've heard my rant about this a million times. I'll spare it for the folks at home, and also go in too much time. But
if you ever want to read it, I think we summarized it in this.
Comics the Magazine.
That's right, Comics the Magazine. We're going to be talking about that too. I have to introduce, because he's now a new face, and he might actually have a voice, our partner, Mr. Brian Garside. How you doing, Bubba? Oh, shut up.
Pranks. I have a voice. It's working.
Oh, and Marvin made it.
Marvin made it. Shout out.
Marvin made it.
Oh, what up?
Now it's a show.
I've had 5 power outages since 1:35.
Wow.
But hopefully they'll be fine. It's fine.
It'll be fun.
It's fine.
It's gonna be fun. Well, you're just gonna jump. You should just jump in and out, even if you don't have a power outage, just to see what we do, right?
Mm-hmm.
See how we manage a show without you.
Yeah.
Well, and Brian was mentioning that his ups is dead, which is terrifying.
Yeah, it's not even my UPS. It's my firewall itself. I have a firewall appliance that just won't wake back up. And so Yeah, it's good. It's fine. I'm sure.
Don't connect directly to Megan's computer, and you should be fine. From what I understand.
No, not after my
Megan's
computer this
computer's
week.
in a great space right now. It needs counseling.
No.
We're not
It's a
talking
really good
about the
question
fact.
if we can answer it in 4 minutes.
Yeah, it's a great
really
question.
good
Now we got to go.
How do we translate enthusiasm actual creators into our stores in such a way that our employees can communicate about these comics effectively? That's a great question, Jeremy. And I think that's something that I think that's partially what we're going to be talking about a little bit next week with Mr. Gabe. So, we'll be talking about that later in the show. But I do think that that's just it. It has to be about passion, right? It has to be about excitement. You have to be so excited to sit down and read and so excited to talk about the thing after you've read it, right? That's where all of this comes from.
I don't want to be a total shill, but that's like the modus operandi with a magazine. It's like I've been pitching it to everybody as genuine enthusiasm for comics and print. And it's like, there's so many decentralized conversations right now, but this is like our attempt at a centralized conversation about comics. And that's why we're covering so many different types of comics within it. So,
yeah, we were just talking about how the first issue is going to be so oddly covering all bases. It's going to be like the kind of corporations that do a lot of intellectual property and licensing and that kind of stuff. But it's also going to be like these super, super indie books that you've never heard of. But it's also going to be big. Some of the biggest stories in our industry right now. It's I can't wait, man. I can't wait. March is not get here soon enough.
Yeah.
Except that we have
comicsmagazine.com. Sign up for that mailing list so you don't miss the big launch in March.
Hey, before we break, I wanted to get everybody's opinion on this. I don't know if everybody read Salkowitz's column on ICV2 yesterday about the other side of things, the digital stuff.
No.
Okay. Do yourself the favor. We've been talking ad nauseum about digital comics for months now.
Yeah.
He really nailed it. Like he goes through all of the individual players right now, what the landscape looks like, why it looks the way it looks, and who's doing what and who should be watching who. And it's really fantastic. Like it's really great work. So I highly recommend you reading it.
Didn't see you share that in the news.
I know.
The Discord.
I'll drop it in there. I'm going to drop it in the chat here. If you want to share it on YouTube.
Part of the ICV2 Pro?
No,
it's up there. I just found it.
It's just naked.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, but we have about 2 minutes left before we kick everybody else off who's not going to be on the show. So, Megan, do you have any tips for people who want to make sure that they don't lose all the pictures of their children?
Hey, friends, you're going to want to get a really good virus protection and try not to use an FTP site. If the person you're working with that says you need to use the FTP site doesn't provide you with a good, clean link.
Okay. Those are good tips.
And also, it's probably not a real situation for Microsoft if there's sirens going off on your computer like you're at a hockey game and somebody just scored a goal.
And that's your cybersecurity tip from Rekka today.
Sponsored by Black Hills Information Security.
Oh, that was such.
Guys, I'm just real quick going to go turn my firewall back on. Just real quick. I got 2 kids home for a snow day today, and God knows what they're interneting right now.
Nice.
I'm so vulnerable.
All
Hey,
right.
quickly before we dive in, can I plug something very quickly?
Plug.
We have 2 new shows starting on the Experience tonight.
Awesome. What are they?
Welcome to Wonderland, who's been a sales show with us, is actually turning into a creator versus creator show, where on starting at 5:00 tonight, 2 creators will be on the show creating a 4-page mini comic live on the air with input from the chat. And then in 6 months, we're going to try and publish it through Kickstarter or crowdfunding the anthology. Then, starting at 7, we have a 3-hour new comic block with Miss Jen from Space Cadets Collection, Houston, Texas, where we'll start with Minute to Skim It, where she reviews the books that are in stores this week. And then starting at 8, you can pre-order those books from her shop if your local comic shop maybe doesn't have them. Then after that, I have to do a live sale where God knows what I'm going to do because I have to produce Miss Jen's show 3 hours before that, so I won't have time to prep. So
Excellent.
I will be pulling my show together like we pulled this show together every week at the last second by the seat of our pants, and hopefully without making Blake cry.
I feel attacked personally and spiritually by that.
All right. Hey everybody, it's Tuesday, and that means all the boxes are in, you're unloading them, you're getting your pull sheets ready, you're interacting with your POS system, or maybe you work in publishing and you're at the last ditch effort of doing everything you can to push everything else aside so you can approve things on the printer. Or maybe your life is nothing like ours and you have a relaxing Tuesday ahead of you with the snow coming down. Either way, it's Comic Industry Insiders Live. Thanks again for joining us this week. And this week, as always, my partner in crime, the man who will probably cut out at any moment when the power goes out, Mr. Brian Garside. This is Blake. I know I'm not pushing the buttons. I'm not pushing any more buttons. It's now
and I
off
refuse
of
to
me.
push buttons. I don't do it anymore. No, I'm not pushing buttons. I don't do it anymore. I've stopped. I quit cold turkey. It's all Blake. Yeah, so, we got like 8 inches of snow last night that became super heavy today, and I think it's causing havoc with our power system because I've had a lot of little outages since 1:35.
So in Canada, that's really late in the year, right? You usually get this in mid-October. Is that not right?
No, sir. No, that is not true. No, we don't usually get. Last night between 3 a.m. and 7 a.m. we had 8 inches fall, and so nothing was prepared for it. Like the plows haven't been out this year yet, so I don't even know if any of them have oil in them. I don't know what's going on. So yeah, it was chaos. All our kids are home from school, from work. My wife had to work from home today. Yeah, it's pretty bad. So yeah, and we're usually ready for this kind of stuff. So it's a little. I also live in something called the snow belt, so like we know how to do this, and yeah, nobody knew
the snow belt.
Yeah,
that's a much better belt than we have the Bible belt here, and I think I prefer the snow belt. That's
really. There was one year where a system hung over our city for 8 straight days, and it was just like. It was literally 7 feet of snow. It was, It was the worst.
Well, as you know, I'm really nervous about that because this is my first year of living in the suburbs where it snows, and I'm not looking forward to being the guy who has to clear snow.
Back stretches, really, like this area is going to get tight, so make sure you open up your chest. Yeah, back,
my shoulders. I'm going to get some Canadian shoulders and elbows, man. I'm going to be ready to go.
Get those elbows up.
We got some people coming into the chat. I'm going to try and say hello to as many of you as possible. Thank you so much for joining us today. And if you will, let us know where you're coming from. Are you a comics fan? Are you a retailer? Are you a creator? We've been trying to create stuff that works for everybody who works inside of comics. And I suppose comics fans, you can get something out of this too. But we would love to hear from all of you about what you're into. We got a big show today, bub.
It's so big. I don't know if we're going to get through all of it. I was looking at that deck and I was like, oh God.
We might go a little long. It's we've been doing a tight 60 for so long. We might have to let that breathe a little. But this week we're going to talk to our very good friend, Jamie Jones from Power Pulp, who's going to be talking about distribution and how to actually do what that kind of small press distribution, what that looks like when you do it well, and why everybody should be involved. We're also going to be doing the headlines, which we normally do. We have some smoking hot headlines this week because, there's it's always nice when people do big dramatic stuff that we get to talk about. And I am so excited about this last bit. We are starting let's call it a soft launch, a program that we've been talking about for a long time, Comics MBA, right? So the idea is we're going to be doing business lessons about the back end of comics and how to grow, how to level up. And we're going to be starting with the Prana crew, bringing in all of our team because they're all publishing experts of one form or fashion, bringing them in to talk about the work that they do and what we can teach you. And this week we're starting with our very own producer, Mr. Blake Buzz, Mr. Morgan. So it's going to be a good show. I can't wait. It's going to be really good.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
If we can hang on to Brian, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Luckily, I'm not too integral to this one because it's going to be dicey.
Excellent. I think first up, we want to talk about a project that we've been working on for a while. We've been talking about it on this show. We probably will continue to talk about it on this show. Sorry, you do your own free show and you get to talk about your projects. We are doing Comics the Magazine. It's going to be out in March of next year. We did number 0 that we gave away at Baltimore and New York Comic Con this year. We have a sign up for kind of early birds, people who are interested ahead of time. Please do sign up for our newsletter. We're prepping our first one. I think it's going to go out here in the next couple weeks. We haven't really talked about that, but go to our website, comicsthemagazine.com, get on the waiting list. Let us know, and especially if you are running a business in comics and you want to support a magazine like this, right now is when you talk to Gabe about advertising, because advertising is how magazines like this work. I know we've all forgotten how periodicals are supposed to work, but they absolutely need this. So they being us, we need your support if you want to be seeing these things in comic shops right now. So please reach out. You had something you wanted to talk about too.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Blake. I hit a button. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. Everyone, hold your phone up to the screen and QR code that QR code, and let's get that thing working. Managecomics.com is where you're going to find our latest webinar. You can get help. You can sign up to find out more, and we will send you some really cool automated emails. And if you're in doubt at all, ask a fellow retailer if Managed Comics is right for you, because if you throw a stone, you're going to hit one. We have over 300 and I don't even know. It's like 360 or something crazy. We're at 98 stores on Oryx, the new system that we only launched like 7 weeks ago. That's insane. 98? Like 98 stores as of this morning. Like we might have cracked 100. I don't even know anymore.
Oh my God. Insane. That's awesome. Yeah. That's wonderful. Yeah. And especially considering the big hole that that is filling in our ecosystem. I'm so glad that people are being able to adopt it so quickly.
Yeah, for sure.
That's wonderful, man.
It's pretty exciting.
Awesome. Well, we had a big debate on whether or not to put QR codes on slides. And I put my foot down and I said, look, it's a call to action. It says go to the website. Even if you don't use the QR code, it's a call to action. And then we had to have a debate about that, and whatever. I
didn't even debate. I just did it. I said, okay, boss, I'll do it. So I did it. Like, there's no debate. It's just okay, cool. Let's do it. What's the worst that's going to happen? 99 stores. Just added
99 stores. 99 Let's get to 100 stores by the end of this show. We're staying on until we get to 100 stores.
We're going to do it. It's going to be like a rally.
Oh, it is over, Kyle. My foot went down, buddy. Anyway.
I heard it. Said, don't do it. Don't do it. No. Boom. Got no choice.
Awesome. Let's get into some headlines, shall we? This has been an exciting little time in our little industry. Things are happening. It's really crazy too that like this time of year we start worrying there's not going to be enough to talk about because things start slowing down. Everybody starts stepping back and putting the pieces on the board for next year's big headline. So
it's
always nice when we have something to talk about. First up is Funko doomed. Funko Pop, man, this line has been so much a part of local comic shops. It's been a huge part of comics conventions. Everybody, except for me, I had to realize I don't have any Funko Pops. I don't know.
I don't own a single one. Like I never quite got it.
So we're definitely not experts in this, but it is one of those things. We saw a huge drop. We spent some time looking at this. Saw a huge drop in sales in the U.S. market for Funko. They are seeing, as they're saying, some stability in other markets, but they are like something like a 20% drop in the U.S. market, which is, I mean, I guess it's not surprising. You reach a point of saturation, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. I'd love to hear from our retailers in the room, Jeremy, in the chat. If you're there, Tommy, where are you? How are the pops doing? Because this has been something. There was a time when it would have kept the doors open, right? Although Megan did in our conversation about this, Megan coined the phrase "hard plastic beanie babies."
Yeah,
which
that's
I don't
true.
disagree with.
So they just announced that they have $241 million in debt. They lost another $1.5 million this last quarter, and compared to $1 million last quarter, compared to the $8 million in profit they made a year ago. A lot of this is being blamed on tariffs because these things are basically doubled in price to them right now, and I think they're absorbing a lot of that. But this is not going to be the end of this kind of story, depending on what happens.
I don't think so either. We're getting some reports inside of the chat here. Jeremy from Texas, when they booted all their smaller accounts and they made you go into the distributors, doomed their expansion in his store, which makes sense. You can no longer order direct. Django is saying they stopped carrying a while ago. This is not surprising to me. I got a couple of, let's see if I can pull them up real quick. A couple of quick reports from retailers. Steve Anderson at Third Eye says, we still sell Funko strongly in all Third Eye locations and the demand is still high. We think it may be too soon to count them out. The audience is still there, just not to the levels of 3 to 5 years ago. And then Keith Boyle, who from I Want More Comics, said, sales are still strong when you get to the secondary market. People still enjoy collecting them and focus on older series. So I doubled my profit in the department last quarter by cutting all new releases. And this is something that I think is really important to remember, is that comic shops or collectible stores get this opportunity to control their own margin by buying back from their fans, from their customers, or from people who have collections. And it's one of those things that when you see a store that does not carry anything that they deem collectible, it tends to be really tough for them to turn a profit because they don't have any control over their margin because they're only buying what they can at wholesale.
Yep. As an exclusively new comics retailer, the only thing that keeps me afloat sometimes is like the 90% off image sale that's going on right now.
Right.
That is allowing me to buy lots and lots of stock at super low, like $1.50 for a trade paperback is crazy.
So what stops you then from buying collections? I mean, I know that I see nearly every other Facebook ad I see is for a local shop buying collections. Is that something that you, as a small store, I mean, granted, you have a bandwidth issue because you're, saving comics on the other side, but is this something that you'd be able to do, like begin to buy collections and resell?
Probably not for a while. I'm really space constrained. Like I don't have a ton of space, and so I'd have to like open a second warehouse just to put stuff in. And it's not really a market I'm super interested in personally.
Right.
I know that's blasphemous, but I don't like old comics. Oh God.
Old comics. Okay. That's fair.
I have terrible allergies and I get like super allergic to like the musty smell of old comics. I used to love it. It used to be my favorite thing. And then as I got older, it's like, I don't like the grunginess of them. I don't like unbagging things. So maybe if I get enough minions working for me at some point, I would look into it. But I'm not.
Yeah. I mean, I am agreeing with Django on this one. I'm with Django.
It's one of the things that Django and I most disagree on. I don't love it. I'm sorry. I'm terrible.
Jeremy does point out that they are time consuming and require a lot of employee manpower to process. This brings up my own pet project, my own pet idea that every time I talk to somebody in tech that I really want to see. And so I'm going to pitch it here and hope that somebody in our audience can figure out how to do this. What I want is the same thing they have in trading cards, where you set up your phone, you set up the camera, it runs, and you can just throw comics underneath it, and it'll tell you which of those to sort and which to not. Right? I think that would be the killer app for stores. Like it's no longer skilled labor to sort what goes into the dollar bin and what goes up on the wall. That won't be the game changer for everybody, right?
Yeah, there's a few different companies that are actually trying to build that. And I know at least 2 of them that I've spoken to. So we'll see. There's so much more nuance in that than there is in trading cards. So
Yeah.
and you actually have to open a book to find out if it's damaged or not. Whereas trading cards, you can just plop it under a scanner and be like, "Yep, here we go. There's a nick in the upper left-hand corner. Done."
That's true. But the reason we all do it, the reason that everybody does it, is because I lost it. As Jeremy pointed out, packed full of profit. They are nutrient dense.
If you could just go through 400 and have it pull out the 25 that are actually valuable, because 380 of those things, you could throw them in the recycling tomorrow and they wouldn't make any difference. I'm sorry that I said that out loud. That is breaking people's hearts. But yeah, there's probably 20 books that are valuable. And if it could just do that work where you find all 20 and don't miss the 2 that are valuable that you would otherwise miss by just looking through. That's Jeremy Shore, blasphemy. I'm sorry.
This reminds me of a story, a rumor. I kind of want to tell here, but I'm going to do my best to try and not get anybody in trouble. I heard several months ago, I heard from a retailer who was near, let's say, a recycling center that was used by different publishers. And that retailer was getting the opportunity to buy these really high-end product from the recycling center when the publisher thought they were destroying the product. Mm-hmm. So even when you're sending it to the recycler, that doesn't mean anything's coming out of circulation. That's, I guess, is my point. I mean, as a publisher, you get to write that off and you move on, and hopefully you get to show a profit. But yeah. Anyway, let's get into. Oh, this is a good one. My buddy Chris Powell, who was on our show several months ago, just coming out of Diamond, gave us a really wonderful kind of post-op interview, like a retrospective interview about his time at Diamond. Is now going to be at Coliseum of Comics. They're the second largest chain of retail stores in our industry, and I think the largest one on the East Coast.
Who's the largest?
Graham Crackers.
Oh, really? Because Coliseum's got like 14 locations, don't they?
Last I heard, Graham Crackers was meeting them by like 2 locations.
Really?
Wow. That's last I heard. But that could change.
Phil's not gonna take that sitting down.
No. He's gonna go find 2 more. Especially now that he has Chris Powell. Come on.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. There's no
what's Chris's role at Coliseum?
They did not say. But Chris comes with a ton of experience in retail. He is a part of the reason that Lone Star Comics became my comic shop and became the chain that it was. He was a big part. He was the general manager of all of their stores when they were the largest chain of comic shops in the industry. And I would say that and he was there, I think right after he left was when they closed down all of those locations and went to being just mycomicshop.com. Yeah. So I'm not, he, in many ways, he was the reason for those stores being around. There was some other, gossipy stuff around the rest of that, the way that went down. But Chris is, he's been around. He was the, I don't remember what his title was, Chief Muckety Muck at Diamond. Just before the bankruptcy and after the bankruptcy, he was there with them for a while after. So,
it wasn't he was something customer service or something like he was the VP of.
It was his ending title there was one of those like really weird corporate something, chief relationship officer or something like that. But, he managed all of the customer service CSRs. He managed a lot of the other operations of the Jeppy businesses. He was the kind of connective tissue for the stores to how they dealt with retailers. I know that he was a big part of a lot of the services that Diamond was doing for retailers, including the pull box program, and I think he did oversee Comic Suite.
Yeah.
Less about that, the better. But yeah, it was. I mean, he was involved with so much that I know that he made a huge impact on our industry, and I'm hoping he makes just as huge an impact on those chains of stores because we need them.
Yeah, for sure. Vice president of retailer services is what he was.
Yeah, but it was something else. It was
executive director of business development.
The word relationships was in his title. I just don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
If you're watching this, CP, feel free to drop into the chat so that we to get that right.
Well, congratulations to Chris Powell.
Congratulations, buddy. I'm glad to hear you landed on your feet. Even if you're not in Baltimore anymore, you get to be in Florida. Whew. Anyway. Bendis returns. Hey, it's new comics. Man. Your favorite thing. Bendis.
Okay.
Back
so
Marvel.
So apparently, and I don't know when exactly this happened, but Brian Michael Bendis is like the ultimate bad guy of comics, because when this news came out, every single retailer started complaining that Bendis is working at Marvel. And it's like,
why are they
this is the guy who apparently everything he touched at DC failed, even though he came up with Wonder Comics, which was the Young Justice, Wonder Twins. That was a great series. His Legion is the most maligned series for no flippin' reason that I've ever seen. He did good work, but nobody liked it. He created Naomi, who went on to be like a CW star. Like, come on, give the guy a break.
He's incredible. I mean, as a comics fan, he kind of came up during my heyday of reading and selling. So I was an AKA Goldfish fan while it was running. So when I saw him, see his rise through the ranks at the big two, I think I don't know. I'm glad to see him back at Marvel, back where he really did some incredible work.
Me too. And I think he is to Marvel what Mark Waid is to DC. He's like one of those elder statesmen who has touched all the properties and who has done cool stuff with them, and who has the ability to have like that kind of senior leadership guiding voice. So hopefully, because what Marvel needs more than anything is some leadership and guidance. And I'm hoping he is him. So retailers, chill. Let's see what he's going to do before we like crap all over it. Like, it's been really disappointing to see how many people like just negatively bashed it. And it's not fair. Like, the guy has put a lot of money into our pockets over the years.
Listen, retailers, you guys go through a lot. I don't mind a little online vetching. They have to get it out somehow. So yeah, I totally understand that. Yeah, exactly.
I hate it.
Hey, welcome to the chat, Tony. It's good to see you here. In fact, it's funny that I think Tony was there the last time I saw Bill Jemis, who gave invoked here, and Bill was a big part of how Bendis came into Marvel the first time around. So that they really turned that company around. So I will say, I know Bendis will save comics. We're all saving comics this week, baby.
Oh, God,
we're all making it happen.
Even the people that complain about Bendis are saving comics. So let's save comics.
Exactly. All right. Also, we want to take a moment just to recognize someone who had a huge impact on comics retail, Mr. Jim Hamilton, and his work with Forbidden Planet. This was, I believe, Forbidden Planet International, which should not be confused with Forbidden Planet UK. Those two companies split at some point. International was the bridge from the European Forbidden Planets and the New York Forbidden Planet. Those are owned by the same company. So anytime somebody like this goes, we all feel it. That's always a loss to us, and our hearts go out to that team, and we really are hopeful that they are making this transition well, because it's a huge, important company, and his loss will be felt. So
and that's way too young. 67, way too young.
That is
way too young.
Entirely too close on the horizon.
Yeah,
for me to even think
that's
about
exactly it. Exactly. Don't like seeing that.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about distribution, kids. I know you guys love talking about comics distribution. So do we. It's a weird hobby to have, to be talking about comics distribution. And I will say that when Diamond Comics went down, many of us saw the writing on the wall and saw that the biggest loss for this, the people who are going to feel the loss of Diamond the most, were the small press, right? People who are independently published, are putting out their own books, that are dealing on a day-to-day basis with all aspects of running a business. And because they, at a certain level, you are going to have a hard time convincing the bigger players who come in that you deserve to be in their catalogs. And so this leaves out so many people from our conversation, especially including those creators who are self-published. There's been a lot of conversation about distribution and about people who are hoping to step in. And I will say there was an interesting article from our friend Brian Hibbs out in San Francisco, who was talking about why it is so difficult to create a smaller distributor that will actually work with comics retailers. Not that they intentionally don't work with comics retailers, but what can you make? What is the business model that will actually work for both the creators and the comics publishers themselves, and the comics retailers? And I will say that this is a really difficult, narrow line to walk. And so we've seen a couple of people try and step in to cover these smaller press. And one of them that has shown up is Power Pulp. This is a group of comics creators who got together and decided that they could self-distribute if they bandied together. And I love this. Anytime that you put together a cohort who can do some of that work together and kind of cover each other, I think that's really the best bet into this. So we heard from, after Brian wrote that article, Jamie Jones, our good friend Jamie, stepped in. He is part of Power Pulp and wrote an open letter to Brian and in many ways, to Heidi, who, God bless her, ran it on the Comics Beat, essentially saying, yes, but. And it was so well written, and he comes from such a place of passion that we had to invite him on the show. So let's invite to the screen. I'm not pushing any buttons. Mr. Jamie Jones. And thank God he's wearing the bow tie so that I recognized him, even though it says his name right there. Who knows if I would have.
That's right. Yeah. I had to throw on the bow tie when you asked so kindly.
Jamie, talk to us about Power Pulp. What is it, and how did it come together?
Gosh, Power Pulp is a collective. It's a comic book collective of creators who tried to just pull our resources together, primarily to get like PR push, right? PR's important, but also expensive. So if we could cut the price with 5 of us coughing up $250, that's a lot easier than, the $1,500 that it costs to pay a good PR person. So it originally started with myself and the other founders, Chris Anderson, John Coates, and James Coates. And this was, gosh, I feel like a year before we even launched, we were talking about this and trying to figure out how to get distribution at a Diamond or a Lunar or something like that. And we were like, hey, what if we formed this kind of like shell publisher? We kind of look like a publisher, we act like a publisher, but we're just a bunch of guys who have books that will ship to them. And when Diamond folded, we quickly pivoted, which was, that's kind of the main, our main way that we have all kind of interacted with the industry is just like, you do one thing until it doesn't work, and then you pivot, you figure out the other thing that works, and then you pivot. I've been in comics for 12 years, and I think I've had a different type of job for 12 years. It just as it's gone. So that's one of the things that just like, we started and we did it. And when Diamond folded, we thought, can we just do the distribution ourselves? I think at the time we had 12 creators on board, and that's quickly grown. I think we're at 28. we're at officially 28 right now, and we just had a couple new members that we're going to be announcing in January. So that's very exciting, and that's the history of Power Pulp is the four of us just talking and trying to figure out how it's going to work.
What were the big hurdles for that? Like for putting something like that together? I mean, obviously getting together and chipping in to pay a PR person, obviously that becomes easy. But when you get into the systems that it takes for distribution, that's gotta be its own challenges, right?
Yeah. So we the way we work right now, and we're looking at getting bigger warehouse spaces and all of that stuff. But we send all the books to the Coates brothers. They're John and James Coates, and they handle all the distribution right now in one of their houses out of a spare bedroom. So it works for us at the small scale, and it's slowly going up. The idea being that 100% of the proceeds go back to the creators whose books are selling. So Power Pulp currently, now this might change in the near future, but we don't take a percentage of any of the books sold. So what we have seen with going through that model is everyone's very active in getting their books sold, which is helping everyone else selling more books.
Right.
We've been around for 7 months. We've been around for 5 months, and we've sold over 700 copies of individual comics to people. I think we work with 17 comic shops currently. And just building those relationships. I mean, we're a bunch of small businesses coming together to try to help and other small businesses. That's kind of our major push. And the more books we sell, the better we all do. You know, it's a real tides kind of situation.
Because when you are able to sell one of the things that we've seen is different tech companies thinking they will come in and create sort of marketplaces that where each of the individual creators would ship directly to the retailer. But that's a challenge that almost makes it really difficult to make that work.
It also the individual creators sending to retailers we found is the biggest hurdle for retailers. Right. Mm-hmm. The second you're ordering more than maybe 2 comics, right? If you're ordering from me and you're ordering from Chris, that's an extra $10 to $20 in shipping costs. So that's kind of been our main model, and not just for retailers, but also readers. Is you can buy a bunch of comics from one source, and they all get shipped out together. For one shipping price. And for retail, we give it's a 50% off retail price, so 50% wholesale, and then $200 free shipping once you hit that threshold. So, which is similar to Simon and Schuster, I think, or one of the other people. So it's like we're trying to model around how they're doing it and kind of see where the industry is and make it work. I guess that's where we're at. We keep trying to pivot and figure out what works best for comic shops, what works best for us, and keep that moving. We're very malleable. I mean, we're very young, and we know where we want to go. We know how we're going to be moving and getting to that place. But the CDEFG part of that mission is a little more squishy,
which it needs to be, right? You need to iterate, but I love the fact that you're iterating from a place of let's make this work for the retailer, right? So that you're not iterating from a place of we need to protect our own first. You're like essentially you're bandying together to use your cooperative strength to make it work for everyone involved.
Sure.
I think that says a lot about where you guys come from on this.
We're also, we have a bunch of guys who have stock, right? It starts off, you run a Kickstarter, you do crowdfunding. In order to get the good deal, you're buying thousands of copies of books, and you're just a lot of times you're just sitting on it, and we're not going to enough conventions. A lot of guys started doing Kickstarters over COVID, right?
Yeah.
So they weren't going to conventions to sell their stock during that time. And then, you do 2-3 of those. Now you're sitting on thousands and thousands of books. So we were like, how do we move this stuff? How do we just get this out? How do we get this out of our houses so we can make more books and get it into more shops? Going door to door to retailers is a great way to start that conversation with the retailer, but sometimes that can limit you to where they place you in the shop, which we notice too.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is the local section, or this is the indie section that's in a weird, it's in the back corner of the room. And we were like, well, can we also treat it like a big name publisher, and you can get a little display that pops on your shelf, and it's like, oh, here's the Power Pulp Comics section. And we've seen shops really taking to doing that and having like little Power Pulp sections. Sometimes shops will be like, oh, this is all the Marvel books, this is all the DC books, here's all the Power Pulp books. It makes us feel good. Makes us feel like we're doing something. Yeah.
Talk about what you said. I think you said something like 17 retailers that you're working with. I think that was the number you used earlier.
Yeah.
Talk about what those shops look like. Who is a Power Pulp shop for you?
Well, man, I was in Savannah, Georgia for the last 4 years, and Lee has been an invaluable resource for me, just as a creator, and he's a great guy and a great friend. And we would talk. I used to host the Drink and Draw in Savannah, and we would talk ad nauseum about weird industry stuff. And so he was always my closest person. Partners and Son in Philadelphia just reached out to us. Howling Pages in Chicago.
It's a great shop.
Pensacola Pop Comics in Pensacola, Florida, has been a huge buyer of Power Pulp Comics. Like they're one of our biggest, which is great. Yeah, we have the full list is written on our website. The Power Pulp Partners is what we call them, and we.
Well, I think we have those. Let's. I'm not pushing the button, Blake. This is me not pushing the button. There it is.
Well, these are all the members that are currently a part of Power Pulp. This is, the big gets. When we got Shelley Bond, it was the whole industry started taking us seriously, and that was a big get. When Jim was like one of those guys we were like, can we get Jim Rugg in those early conversations? And then we launched at Heroes Con last June, and he kind of like hit us up and was like, yeah, let's start talking. So it's awesome. The group is growing, and we're only getting bigger, and we have plans, and we're still operating like a collective, and there's a nomination period where everyone puts up new names that we'd like to have kind of join in, because it's not just people signing up to be a part of Power Pulp just for distribution. It's also like, you kind of got to pull your weight a little bit and help promote, and really, if the creators are a part of the mission, then we're doing the thing, right? Like that's how it works.
As a collective, you've become greater than the sum of your parts.
Yes.
Right. That's incredibly valuable. That is absolutely wonderful. I love hearing this. Once again, you said 50% off with and obviously all of these books are together, so they're going to be shipped together.
Right.
And a $200 order will get you free shipping.
Yes.
Am I getting that right?
That is correct.
Awesome. Is there anything in particular? I will say that we have a whole lot of a retailer fans in the chat, and in our people who watch the show after. How should they contact you? How should they be, looking for you and shopping through? What is a good next step?
On the website, we have a portal for you to like sign up your retail shop for us, and that's how once you sign up for the retail, you're able to log in, and then you'll get that discount added to your store. And we're going through that and just like verifying your account. That's how we're doing that currently. Maybe that changes in the future. Again, all of this stuff is like, well, maybe that changes in the future. But yeah, you can just register your shop. I personally did this for my hometown shop in Fort Pierce, Florida, Big Dog Comics, and found out that it was super easy to do. So it's really, really easy to do. And then once you get to the you'll go back to the comics page and everything will be marked off the price, and you can just kind of just go through and find what you're looking for and search creators, search books. It's cool. I'm really pleased with it. It's working, which is crazy.
Well, we absolutely love that. Brian, what should Jamie be knowing about metadata, man? Let's get into it. Make sure that he leaves here with something to work on.
Yeah, for sure. We should definitely talk afterwards, but if we can get your data into like a Comet kind of standard, it's going to allow a lot more of my type of system to ingest that data and present it to even more people. So one of the things we're actually working on right now at Managed Comics, and we have 360 some odd stores, is the ability for us to add new distributors like you guys. So, and then basically the stores will just find out all the distributors that are available. Cause that's one of the things is like, if people don't know you exist, it's getting harder and harder to find this stuff out there. So that's a big passion of mine. So let's definitely connect afterwards, but yeah, following the Comet standard will really, really help improve just the data ingestion of things.
We have
even more stores.
The Comet standard has definitely been a topic of conversation that we've been like, okay, how do we do this? How are we bringing on, one of the things that we're starting to do now kind of retroactively is training the new creators that we have to be like, this is what you should price your book at. So it makes you money and makes everybody money, and like kind of that relearning how to actually make stuff work for everyone and not just a single individual at a convention. I think that's kind of for sure. That's been a big thing.
One of the nice things we have on our website is my TED talk on barcodes, comic book barcodes, and why these final 5 digits are important. Yeah. And just training kind of indie people that you don't have to burn a UPC code every time you release a new issue. You can actually reuse the same UPC code. That's invaluable and makes selling in comic shops a lot easier.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's my TED talk on comic. If we ever meet in person, I will give it to you in person because I've given it 875 times.
Well, I can tell you, and it sounds to me like you're already there. One of the things I tell small press publishers is that you're not in competition with Spider-Man and Batman.
Right.
There's no competition here. You need to, set a price that works for you and the market. You'll find your market, right? There is no need for you to, race to the bottom in order to justify extra circulation. It's much better that you are setting a price that makes sense for you, your business, and then let the retailer find the market for you,
Right. Yeah. And I think the early adopters of Power Pulp and the comic shops that have partnered with us quickly within the first couple of months, they're all really independent. They have independent sections and they're really indie driven comic shops. Yeah. And what my big push now internally with the guys is figuring out how to do not that specific like specialty shop. It's getting into the shops that are, only doing Marvel and DC books, and like let's be that dark horse in both metaphorically but also actually like that third publisher that people actually know who we can be a name.
Well, and the stores it behooves the stores to become as diverse as possible because that's what gets you through the ups and downs, right? That the people who love indie comics are going to love indie comics no matter if it's Brian Michael Bendis writing, the Avengers or not, right? They are still going to be looking for that next hit, that next new flavor. And that's where you guys live. And speaking of flavor, cannot recommend Jamie's stuff enough. Gorgeous work, buddy. What do you have coming up for you personally? Any new books?
I've for the last year I've been putting out a magazine called Spacow. It's a pulp action adventure magazine. It's I'm actually, speaking of like the really DIY indie comic stuff, I bind them myself, which is a lot of work, but I actually bought like a proper
saddle stitcher
cutter. I don't have a saddle stitcher yet, but I have. I'm still doing it the old school with a long arm stapler, which is miserable. That is my next big purchase is a saddle stitcher. But I got a big long arm cutter, which has saved so much time, and so it's a lot of fun. So but issue 5 should be coming out early next year.
Not doing it with your scissors anymore. It's good to hear, buddy. I like that. Well, I think what we're hearing is, if you're a comic shop that loves the spirit of indie comics, that is an independent business and wants to have that sort of independent spirit in your business and with your customers, and Jeremy earlier was talking about how do you get your staff excited about selling, independent comics. I think the answer is to give them something to be excited about, which is something new, right? Something they haven't seen before.
Yeah. I think there's also, the idea, and I hate being this. I feel like sometimes I am this guy. You can't just rely on Batman to sell Batman, right? With the indie comics, it's I know the staff at Neighborhood Comics sells my book, The Baboon, really well, and I was constantly, when I was just walking distance from them, would just walk over and give them new books, and that just started because one of them liked it and they were able to talk about it and sell it, and that's just really what it comes down to, is being like, oh yeah, you like this kind of thing, here's this other kind of book. That's the mentality that I had when I worked at comic shops, was like, oh, what do you like? Not what kind of comics do you like, but what kind of things do you like? And then getting them over to that book.
Awesome. I love saying, like, what kind of music do you listen to? And then they'll be like, you wouldn't know it. It's Vampire Weekend. Okay, first of all, I'm not that old. Second of all, you might like Phonogram.
Right, like exactly. That's
Well, thank you, Jamie. Thank you for coming on, and I appreciate you setting the record straight. I know it's it's a super challenging problem to solve, which is how do we make independently produced work for independent businesses, independent retail, because that is just a thin line. And I love the fact that as a collective, you're able to navigate that in a way that somebody who has to do this for profit might not be able to. And instead, you're really focusing on, creating a conduit. And I think that's absolutely commendable. So thank you so much for jumping on, brother. Yeah. And I'm sure we're going to come up with some excuse to have you back on. So don't lose the boat.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jamie. We'll talk soon, because I'm excited to chat with you.
That'd be great.
All right. Excellent. I'm so glad we had him on. I've been wanting to do that for a while.
That was very cool.
He's so talented, and they have so much good work in that catalog that I'm looking forward to seeing them grow. So if you are a retailer and we joke about you hitting the QR code, you could just Google Power Pulp. That would do it.
If you have to Google, that works. Power Pulp Comics.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, fine, do it.
All right, it's time for something that I've been so looking forward to.
This is so exciting.
MBA, the comics MBA. So this is an idea that has been percolating for many years for me. Using a platform like ours to essentially help people grow in their businesses. We started Comic Industry Insiders as a way of getting to know the people behind the scenes of the comics industry and learning what we could about them to help grow your business or career in comics. And yes, I've said that a couple hundred times at this point. As a result of that, we've gathered together a crew of people who are all incredibly knowledgeable, these publishing professionals that we call Prana Direct Market Solutions. And today we get somebody who does double, triple, quadruple duty, who you probably know him as Blake's Buzz. We know him as our head of community and crowdfunding. His name is Blake Morgan, and he really should not eat so many hot dogs without a vegetable every now and then.
That's not kind, Adam. Come on,
Blake. What do you have for us, buddy?
I made the fiber joke, Brian.
I know. No, I know.
Adam did not make this slide.
No,
he built the slide.
I love it.
What's up, guys?
Hey. So is this the part where we get to like take a break and you get to talk for 10 minutes?
Yeah. This is also the part where everybody finds out that the MFA dropout is kicking off Comics the MBA, which I think is pretty funny.
Right,
shout out to my thesis advisor, Whitney Terrell. I'm sure he's not watching this show. That's right. I made it to my thesis before I dropped out. Anyway, I'm basically an MFA student. Anyway, yeah. I'm excited about this. And I'm excited. I'm excited about mine, obviously, but I'm excited to see what the team starts to generate, and what we get from, we work with such talented, genius people. I'm stoked to hear the kind of sauce they bring to the kitchen. So yeah, this is really cool. I appreciate you giving us a spot.
All right, buddy. Well, I think Brian and I are going to let you jump up and do what you do best, which is cook. So let's go.
I'm gonna man the board, and you just present. Okay, so you don't even have to do this. I'll just bye, Adam. Bye.
All right, sweet. Okay, so first of all, you got to wait to I got to do this one though, Brian. Are you crowdfunding comics? Obviously. We got some stuff to talk about because in the last crowdfunding's been a big part of my life for several years, but in the last 3 months, I have managed, built, or done PR for 7 Kickstarter campaigns and counting. We're doing more next month. It's not stopping. And I'm starting to see some trends, and I'm starting to notice some things that some people are not doing. One of those things is giveaways. All right. Here's something not everybody is going to want to hear. If you are making comic books, I don't care where, big 2, indie, crowdfunding, and whatever element of crowdfunding you use, you need to be giving those comic books away. I know, right? It's crazy. But just listen to me for a second, okay? Because I'm not asking you to devalue your work. All right. I'm asking you to invest in your readership in a different way. Okay. Because crowdfunding we always talk about money. Because that's the stressor. That's what's hitting you. That's the devil on your shoulder for 30 days, right? We haven't made enough. And even if you we haven't unlocked the stretch goal, or maybe we got 48 hours left and still need 700. I've heard all the stories, right? Money is a big, big concern. But this is a part of this is part of your campaign strategy. This is part of your funding goals that you should consider is having stock of these things to give away. Because let me tell you something real quick. Generosity is one of the most powerful marketing tools. All right. And why is that? That's because crowdfunding is community. And it's important not to forget that. Okay. Some people do. Like how many campaigns have you seen that launch these new campaigns and maybe they only have they've only backed a couple, and there's a reason why we talk about that or why that's of note. Okay. And is it the worst thing? No, but it does kind of put a signal out there of why isn't this person backing other campaigns? Why aren't they supporting the community? Because supporting the community is a huge deal. I thought this sounded smart. Crowdfunding is a trust economy because you're not just buying comics, right? They're buying you kind of, they're investing in you and your brand and whatever issues that you may put out. And if you start giving away some of those elements, obviously not to everybody, right? We need to fund these things, and I'll go into some strategies later to kind of narrow that down. But it tells your audience that we're in this together, and it starts to build a bond, right? We're in this together. You're part of the story now. Kickstarter has always been a phenomenon like that, right? Because it's not like a convention and it's not like traditional retail. It's an experience. And generosity fuels that crowdfunding ecosystem. It turns into comments, it turns into shares, and that enthusiasm is contagious, right? And when it builds, those readers that catch it, they start coming back. All right, so let's talk. One of my favorite things to talk about ever, and it's because a lot of y'all are lazy. I'm just kidding, I love you. But pre-launch you need to do more. I need to do more. We all need to do more. You need to do more than showing covers, showing process art. You got to get people hyped, right? What hypes people more than free comics? Obviously like $1 million and a lot of stuff, but in our industry, free comics is pretty cool, right? Okay. So the pre-launch this element in pre-launch is underused. And I really don't understand why. So like, obviously you're sharing digital previews, you're reaching out to press and you're doing that kind of thing, but why not do a giveaway to kick off that first 30 days of the campaign? You know, why not have you have fresh stock from the last campaign? You're getting ready to go into this new one. You know, hey, sign up, do this, sign up for my mailing list, sign up for the pre-launch page. There's a lot of things that you can kind of like get people to do to, you know, register for this giveaway and make it an event, right? It's a marketing event. You can do the follow, share, tag a friend, right? These are all the Instagram tactics that are pretty good. And it may help your pre-launch followers, but you know what it will help is if you get those emails from people, you can put them on a mailing list. Like, and that's all you do. You give away a stack of comics and you get emails for your mailing list. It's pretty cool. I'm going to give you a psychology check real quick. When someone receives something valuable, it's intimate and they feel invested, right? Emotionally and creatively. And I believe that emotional investment can be turned into campaign support. Pretty naturally. And we're going to get into that in this actually not in this next slide, but this is another thing that I never see people do. I didn't even know about this until my last job because I did a lot of production stuff. You're all dealing with printers. You have to you talk to printers not all the time, but you know, these projects go to print. These are important things. You're getting proofs, you're talking to them, you're talking pricing, you're talking deals, how many units to print, things like that. Maybe variants, metal, you know, you're doing a lot of stuff. You need to talk to them about promotional stuff they're doing. And I'm not saying like buy 5, get 1 free, but sometimes they have new technologies or new types of printing techniques that they want to try out. They might have like new metallic options or metallic inks, glow in the dark coatings or new spot gloss, lenticular elements, right? They do tempered glass variants now, right? They do tons of crazy stuff, right? You may be able to talk to your printer and get a small amount, 5 to 10, maybe even less, just to kind of see what you think, test out these new things. They won't be free most likely, but they could be pretty cheap and you can get a good deal on it and hoping that like you think they look cool and then maybe you'll order some like that. That's the ploy, right? So you're essentially buying a few samples. Like if you were getting like tiles or something at Home Depot, right? Thinking about doing a tile floor. Anyway, you get those, right? And you don't sell them. You got maybe 5 of them, just a few. Give those away. You've now turned a giveaway into something even more magical, more unique. You can't get that in a campaign. You can't get that at a con. You can't get it anywhere. It only came from your generosity. All right. And people will remember that. I've remembered it from people that have done that to me. Like it's just when people send you comics, it's a magical thing, whether it's a giveaway or not. You know, if you interview someone and they send you a stack of books because you were stoked to, you know, it's just, it feels good when your press and a publisher sends you things, right? You feel like a legitimacy. And so there's, again, you know, giving away stock, it does a lot more than just take pennies off your end game, right? Going back to what I was saying, giving things to press and podcasters. So there's a Curious Perspective Comics. When I was a blogger a long time ago, I reviewed their book. They're 11 issues deep now on Kickstarter, and I work for them now. Like they sent me comics because they love my review. They send me new books every time, you know, and I always reached out when I saw a new campaign. You guys want to come on the show and stuff like that. And you build a relationship with these press people. And as someone who part of my job is to find press for indie comics to get on, every single day it gets harder and harder. Every day. It's just, there's so many people out there and there's not enough YouTube channels and there's not enough time to edit video. Most of these people have day jobs and do stuff, right? So what can you do? give a podcaster a gift, give an influencer a gift, right? If they don't like the book, they probably won't talk about it. Okay. So I doubt you send someone a comic and they make a thread that gets 1 million views where they drag you. But you know what they might do? They might do an unboxing video. They might take a picture of it and post it on social media. They might read it and post about it. Oh, I really dug this comic, and tag you. And just so, like, these are little tiny elements, right? That singular by themselves, they don't look like a lot. But when you start to add them up, it does show growth. And this is like loyal growth, right? This isn't like you fell asleep and woke up to 200 followers, right? This is like you are learning about these people. They're learning about you. You're building a legit relationship, and they'll follow your career. So that's something to think about. I also think not enough people utilize local comic book shops, bookstores, and libraries. You could be a crowdfunding only person, never be in the direct market. I've seen those creators do signings at Barnes and Noble. You just have to find the right time and ask. Not even find the right time. You just have to ask. You have to put yourself out there and reach out. Comic book shops also love this, because guess what? If you do a signing, if just your parents and friends come, maybe that's 5 to 8 people, right? That walk through that store. Maybe they buy a Funko Pop. Is that too soon? I don't know. Anyway, but maybe they get a book or a graphic novel or a hardcover. Maybe they get something cheap. It doesn't matter. Like, that foot traffic is good. It's good. Foot traffic's always good for business. Cars in the parking lot, always good for business. So most likely you reach out to a shop, say, hey, can I come in? And if there's some trepidation, bring snacks. There was a Kansas City creator, shout out Doug Wood. He would always bring cupcakes to his signings. And the shops loved, he's super nice. He does cool books. He's a good indie guy, right? But he would always bring snacks and cupcakes for the shop, and just little stuff like that. Again, not necessarily giveaway, bringing cupcakes, but it's something. Libraries are the same way. You can reach out to libraries. Sometimes they do events with local creators. These are things that not enough people do. And I think some of it is that people think, well, I'm on Kickstarter and I'm not in a comic book shop, so why would I do a signing? And you got to kind of get that mentality out of your head, and you got to reach out. But wherever you go and wherever you set up a table, guess what? You need to be ready to give away some comic books. And I'm not talking about just letting people, when you do a con, you need a bundle, right? You need a cool bundle that people sign up for in a jar on the table. And you want to pre-stuff the jar. Don't make it look like the jar is empty. The jar is never empty. But have them sign up, say you can win these books, and show them that on the table. You don't have to have a giant sign pointing to it, but hey, you can win these books. I've been to, I don't see a lot of creators do this at tables, they used to kind of do fun stuff like spin the wheel, stuff like that, but just signing up for a raffle, really showing them the physical items they can win, then maybe they end up buying it too. So it's just, these are little things, it's not all about signing the comics and selling the comics. When you go to these places, it's about meeting these people, building relationships, and trying to get them back when you launch the next campaign. All right. Speaking of the next campaign, you got to keep the campaign alive. All right. The campaign does not stop when fulfillment ends. The campaign stops when people quit talking about it. You don't want people to quit talking about it until you launch the next campaign. Okay. So how do you do this? Well, do another give is a trend here. Do you see it? Do another giveaway. And guess what? You got fresh stock. Your boxes of comics just came in. You got new variants, new issues, new trinkets to send out. Send them out. Hey, we just got the comics in and we're doing a social media giveaway. Sign up. We'll do it's just it seems silly. Beginning of the campaign, end of the campaign when the new comic books come in. Just always be giving them away. I know a lot of Kickstarter people that make the joke that they got boxes and boxes of this stuff in their basement. And it's just once a month, every other month. If you got that many, I mean, why not? It's just giveaways work. I used to think they didn't. I used to think I was raised, not raised, but I was conditioned under false pretenses that hey, giveaways are lazy. And they're not, okay? Because when you are investing in your own brand and you're trying to extend and build your brand, you cannot and will never do that without spending a little bit of money. I wish that wasn't the case, but you have to invest in yourself a little bit in one way or another. You can start podcasting and stuff for free. Once I started doing that, I got a nice mic. You upgrade, you level up, right? Do that in comics. Do that in your marketing. And instead of just paying for a marketing team, which not everybody can do. These are some small things that you can do yourself to connect with readers that are already, guess what, trying to connect with you, because that's all Kickstarter is. Like, you have backers like already reaching out, want to be a part of what you're doing. So just make them feel a little bit more special. And this is where we get into the long game of keeping the faith, right? Because what you're planting is a seed. We all know what seeds do, right? They grow. You don't need this amazing graphic I made to tell you that, but the seeds grow, and they grow into something. And that's kind of what you're investing in. Okay. You're planting these seeds, you're giving them out to people, and you're hoping they grow into a fan, hoping they grow into a loyal Kickstarter backer, hoping they grow into someone that maybe will follow you into bookstores if you get there someday. If you do well crowdfunding and you reach out to Prana publishers and be like, hey, how can we level up? These are things that can happen. And being generous to your fan base and building your audience that way is they'll be around, they'll hang around, they're loyal. Okay. So I want to wrap this up by saying, remember those seeds? You see these giant trees? There's symbolism going on here. Generosity is not weakness. It never will be. You look at the world around you right now, if people were more generous, a lot of people would be doing a lot better right now, okay? And take that mentality into the nerd culture, into the comic book store, outside of the comic book store, into your Kickstarter campaign, at the convention. Take it to all those places, okay? Give away your comics. You're not going to go broke. You're not going to devalue your work. Think of it like this. You giving away your book is the same thing as me giving away a copy of Brian K. Vaughan's Brand New Spectator. Okay. You're giving away an awesome thing for someone to read. That's how you have to think about it. Okay. And when that excitement, when you're that stoked and you know your book means that much, and you give that to somebody, they feel that. The vibes shift. Okay. And I'm telling you, give it a try, and it won't blow up, and you won't make 10 grand in your next campaign or whatever. Right. But you'll see small amounts of growth, and from campaign to campaign, these grow. And when you're dealing with attrition in or out of the direct market, every little bit helps. So give your comics away. And this has been the first Comics MBA from your favorite MFA dropout. Buzz, baby.
Oh,
dude, so good. So good. Golf clap.
Thanks.
Golf clap. We have to golf clap because we don't want to pop
oh yeah, sorry.
Pop any peas.
Sorry, I didn't mean to hit that mic too hard.
Well done. Hey, let's just pop a couple of the comments that I really enjoyed as we were going through. Ash cans for backers in the first 24 hours of the campaign. That sounds great. EXP said give away PDFs to press, not ash cans. I mean, press like ash cans too. If you're somewhere physical, definitely give that away. But yeah, I agree. PDFs are a great giveaway.
I will say, I want to double tap on that one. I know that one came from Kyle. I will say that there are exceptions to this, because I know of at least one press outlet who a big part of their revenue is selling the product, the product that they get for free, that they then review. But that's like part of their business model. Yeah. And so you're supporting that press by sending them free copies that they can then do something with. So I'm going to say sometimes that's true. Yeah.
That's awesome. Always be giving, always BB, GG giving, ABG. These Prana folks said the campaign ends when people stop talking about it. And they reiterated generosity is not weakness. Very good.
Gems.
And like the big companies do this. DC sent us a full TPB of Batman, Absolute Batman Volume 1. I knew that Spectator was amazing, and I raved about it for months because I have a copy of Spectator that Image gave us literally with our orders 3 months before it came out. It was probably the best thing to get me to rave about it, because I wouldn't have over like a 6-page preview. But when you see the whole thing, man, yeah, it was incredible. So yeah, it's the big guys know this. So do
absolutely. And I will say, just yes, and what Blake said, I think that, anybody who is thinking about those stacks and stacks of books that they had to overprint, and maybe they're moving, maybe they're not moving slowly, but just think about them as an asset that you can use to build your company.
Yep.
And don't think of them, don't fall prey to what's known as the sunk cost fallacy, right? This is something that I cannot give away because I paid so much for it. This is now an asset that you can use to grow your company, and doing it strategically, doing it smart, doing it in a way that will increase your audience everywhere. That's something that every retailer listening to this can learn from, every creator, every publisher, everybody involved. If you're giving it away, you are increasing your chances, you're increasing your surface area with the market that you're selling to. Anyway, Blake, thank you, buddy.
You should write down save that increase your surface area for something like this later. That was good.
That's amazing.
That was good.
No, way to kick it off, man. That was so good.
We had some good zingers.
That's right, baby. We're dropping fire.
I was nervous. I haven't been nervous to give like a presentation in a hot minute. It was good.
Well, you did great. You
rocked it, man. You rocked it.
All right, we're over time. Let's go ahead and do our quick CTAs at the end here, shall we? The Prana Bullets. It's a newsletter we put out at Prana. Blake actually contributes to that quite a bit. So does Megan. Does an incredible job on that every week. And I just come in and do a little blowhard at the end. But it's your best way. On every Friday, we send out all of the big stories, all of our take on where the industry is going and what is new. We're about to add a new feature to this that everybody's been asking for, that we tried early on, but I think we're getting real close to being able to start doing this weekly again. So
is that a tease? Is that a tease?
My friend?
Oh, nice.
PranaDM.com or click QR code. Scan that QR
just
code.
Use it with your phone and you just scan it and boom, you're done. Okay.
Ray,
I don't have
absolutely. Ray, this is absolutely the plan. We're going to be doing a lot more of these. So
100%.
There's going to be a nice little section for you to learn more from all of these. Yeah.
I didn't have room for a QR code because this is just so jam-packed full of stuff. But on Thursday, November 13th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time, we are doing our 10th anniversary live stream. We're going to have some guests on. We're going to talk about fun. We're going to talk hijinks. We're going to talk about the future. Don't miss it. Come to managecomics.com/webinar and sign up. You can sign up right now and come and hang out with us. Even if you don't use Manage Comics, just come have some fun with us. So yeah, we'd love to see everyone there. At 3 p.m., I'm going to do a webinar for anybody that wants to stick around and actually ask questions because it'll be over Zoom. So you'll find all the information to that on managecomics.com/webinar. Be better if I had a QR code. Next time I will.
This week we do a podcast every week where we talk to people behind the scenes of the comic book industry and get to know what it is they know for your business or career in comics. This week we talked to the smartest people we know. We're on this panel talking about data. We cut the line below the smartest people we know.
Weird. So weird because I don't see me, and that kind of says a lot about how smart I am. Huh.
We talked to Django and Jeff of Comics Place and Comic Shop Assistant. We talked to Morgan Perry, who's at Square Enix, and Moni Barrett, who is at that library pass. That's right. Anyway, we talked about how data works in comic shops, how sales data works in comic shops and in libraries and for publishers, and why it's so incredibly important that we all are contributing to a healthy data environment. And Brian couldn't be there because he wasn't there in San Diego when we originally gave this because he's a Canadian coward.
It's not because your country treats me as an enemy. It's because I'm the coward. No, fair enough. That's fair. Well, I mean, you had 2 out of 3 data bros, so that's quorum. Like that's all you need. If you get 2 out of 3 of us in a room, you've got a data bro. You've got I think it's a polygamy of data bros. I think I don't know. I'm not a data broist, so
there's so many jokes that I want to do there. But instead, I'm going to say thank you to Blake. You did an amazing job. Thank you.
That was awesome.
Thank you to Jamie for coming on for Power Pulp. Thank you from the entire Prana team for helping us build this. Thanks to Kyle, the producer, and Once again, I want to thank all of you who are buying comics today. If you're in a comic shop, make sure that you buy with both hands while you're listening to this. If you're a retailer, thank you for doing the work you do. We could not do any of this without you. If you're a distributor, gosh, Jamie and the crew, everybody, thank you guys for so much for making sure that we all get product. If you're a creator or a crowdfunder or a publisher or anybody making comics that makes sure that we all get to keep this engine running, we want to thank you once again. Another week and we saved comics.
Yeah, every one of these people is saving comics. So get out there and do your part to save comics.
Amen. Namaste, y'all.
Namaste.